All right, let's get this money, fam. We're out
Let's
here.
get this money.
Um, yeah, cup of Joe with your bro. The Broman Empire.
Plus KB.
Plus who?
KB.
Oh, Kate. I thought you said Katie. I was like, I
No,
didn't know that was your name.
my
I
alias.
forgot your name. All right, guys. Thank you for being here, watching this podcast with me. If you do not know me, my name is Gavin Starr, the keeper of thy vibes. And today I have this beautiful woman here. And yeah, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Kira Barbie.
Nice.
I just met this man like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. How
Right.
did how did we meet?
Um, I went to order a drink at the bar, and there was this lovely older man sitting next to me who we now call Pops.
Shout out
Shout out
Pops. If you're
Pops.
watching this, bro, we love you, man. You're in our hearts.
Yes, that's our Costa Rica
Canada.
dad. Our Canadian dad, I
Yeah,
should
our
say.
Canadian
But we
dad.
met him in Costa Rica.
We
Anyway,
did.
so I'm ordering a
Good
drink
dude.
at the bar, and Pop said to me, "What are you drinking?" I'm like, "I don't know yet, blah, blah, blah." So we're talking, and then Gavin comes up next to Pops, and Pops is like, "Oh, yeah, this is my son." And I believed it for like a whole day.
It was quite a bit of time,
Yeah.
and yeah, we played along with it, and yeah, we really showed our fatherly and sonly love, and yeah, we made people believe that we were father and son. But yeah, that's how we met, and we ended up going on some adventures and
Yes, some fam adventures.
doing some vibey shit. Now we're here, and yeah, long story short, we've already filmed a podcast, and vibes weren't quite as high as we wanted them to be, so we decided to film another one. I'm here in Costa Rica for one more night, and
The
now's
last
now's the time.
hurrah.
Yeah, the last hurrah, and yeah, we're just gonna kind of go with the flow. I got a bunch of questions to ask this beautiful woman here, as who I now consider a good friend, and who I'm glad that I had met. And
Thank you.
yeah, she's got the vibes. Vibes are high. She is a very loving person, and I noticed that right from the beginning. And she was telling me about her story, her beliefs, and she's got the awareness within. And I was just like, yo, this would be kind of dope if we kind of hopped on a video and did something, well, for us, but more so for the people watching, and maybe there's some value somewhere. And yeah, I'm just gonna ask her questions that I'm wondering, and yeah, what she's thinking.
Thank you. I feel honored to be here.
Yeah, it's
I'm
been it's
excited.
been good. Yeah, we've hung out quite a bit. We've gone on some adventures, and yeah, we'll see. Tonight will be the last hurrah.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. So guys, you don't even know what we're gonna talk about here, but my intention is to get the info that most men do not want to ask. Most men do not know. And yeah, I want to help a brother out, because I've been that brother, and sometimes I still am that brother, and we just don't know what we're doing, and we're making fools of ourselves. And yeah, I want to get the perspective of Kira regarding, well, what are women attracted to? How can we be better as men? And maybe I'll give her some wisdom from the male perspective
Let's
as
hear it. Let's hear
well.
it.
But yeah, so let me first ask this. Like, most most guys, when they're younger, they are in a state of lack. They believe that they are not enough in the moment, or they do not have what they want in the moment. Therefore, they're resisting the moment. And they're going through life like that. And they think that they need something outside themselves to achieve that inner peace. That thing outside themselves being women. 90% of the time, like, let's be real here. I can just say that, but come on, guys. I know you want to get girls, as we all do, but like, where do we go wrong is kind of my first question point, being not where do we go wrong, but they're in that state and they want to attract the opposite sex. Okay, they want. For me, it stems from just that lack of that that belief, that self doubt within, and it's like we think that maybe that's gonna getting a girlfriend is gonna solve it. But then, what's the difference between attracting a girlfriend versus attracting like a one night stand? And well, are one night stands valuable? And yeah, like, what are your thoughts on that? Where does like, because we've talked in private. She gets approached quite a bit, and rightfully so. But yeah, where do people go wrong, and what do you look for in a guy that you're just meeting and who you would inevitably, let's say, create a relationship with for a period of time?
Well, that was a lot to unload there.
I have trouble articulating my questions. That's just
No,
something I
that's
got to
okay.
work with, and I got to accept
No, you
my
did
own
great.
thing.
You did great. I would definitely say how you stated in the beginning, how they're looking for something outside themselves. And I think that's the most important part there is that you should never look for something outside yourself. I think it should always start within you and with your self love, because if you don't have love for yourself, you have nothing to give a woman. And I think the one night stand versus girlfriend is all about intentions. If you are having that lack mindset, lack of self love, and you go out looking for something other than yourself, you're going to end up attracting something that's also full of lack.
Mm,
And
mm,
that's going to be someone that is probably vibrating at the same frequency where they also don't love themselves. And so maybe they don't have standards, and then you don't either. And then one night stands occur and it doesn't go anywhere. There's no love. If you're not loving her and she's not loving you because you don't love yourself, that relationship will not flourish. So I
mm.
think that's the most important part is just loving yourself first and making sure that you are healed. And I mean, obviously we're healing and growing every day, but yeah, just making sure that you have something to provide.
Yeah, and I think you experiment and um, you learn through experiences
Yeah, absolutely.
and well, okay, I guess in my mind it's like, yeah, that idealistic thing where like you know you're doing some wholesome thing and you meet the girl of your dreams and forever you're with her forever. But in reality, like, you do need to put yourself out there. And but how do you put yourself out there, and where do you put yourself out there? um, and if you're putting yourself out there in front of a woman, what would you say you look for in a guy that's going to come up to you and tell you he likes you?
I would say him just being himself. I think that's the most important thing, because when you're yourself, you're living your authentic truth, and it's very obvious. Energy doesn't lie. And when someone approaches you with clear intentions, clear communication,
Mm,
authentically themselves, there's less mysteriousness, I guess you could say. Like it's
yeah.
it's very clear who they are. And yeah, like you can already tell the kind of guy, if someone comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, you're pretty hot. Can I get your snap?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." First of all, don't ask for a girl's Snapchat. That's
What's wrong with Snapchat?
that's just the worst form of communication. Like the whole point of Snapchat is to send a photo back and forth. Whereas, and same with Instagram. Like I think that's okay. It's like less weird because it's not a direct source of communication, but I think asking for the number is
Is
most
the most,
appropriate, or
yeah.
just saying, I think you're really beautiful. Like I would love to get to know you more. And then maybe once that progresses and you see she's interested, then go ahead and ask for her number. But I
Okay.
definitely think if a guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, yo, what's your snap?" I'm like, "Are you in high school
Yeah.
or?"
Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree with the Snapchat thing. I think that's stupid. Look, but how do you know if a girl is interested in you though? Like, because then you're in this moment, you're putting yourself out there. Yeah, and I agree with her. Like, energy is the most important. Like, you just
Yes,
gotta
yeah.
get to a point within yourself where you chill and you can
Hmm.
just do things with love for yourself. It's all
Yes.
good if she doesn't like you. Who cares? It's not the end of the day. Like, or it's not the end of your world, and you just like keep moving on. You got
Hmm.
to build mental brain wave in your mind to be like, I'm good either way, and just you have to have that loving energy. So like it starts with yourself, and like you ever notice, I've noticed that the times that I've attracted the best people in my life, it's when I am not having an intention to attract anybody. So I'm just being present in the moment, not really giving a fuck, and just like going with the flow, having a good time, and there's no like ulterior motive. And I think that's. But if you're like, oh, I need to hit on this chick or I suck, then it's like, but that's a whole nother cycle. You have to let go of that belief and like everything happens for a reason. But it's like, yeah, almost in your mind too, you're like, you need to prove to yourself that you can do it. But then when you do, it's like, well, it's really not that big of a deal. But regardless, what I want to say too is like, you you go up, you're putting yourself out there, and you attract or you get the number, okay, like you said, in a wholesome way. And so now what's the next step? Do we ask to hang out, or do we, and like, okay, we need to know this, the boys need to know this. I'm literally doing this. Are we supposed to, like, how do you know if you're supposed to kiss the girl on the first date? Like, how do you know that? I feel like that's a very intimidating thing. And
It's intimidating for the guy.
yeah, I think that's an intimidating thing. But like, yeah, like how do you know if you're supposed to do that?
I would say energy, body language. If you're unsure, I would just communicate that.
You're
Communication
unsure.
is, or lack of communication is usually the start of most problems in relationships.
But don't you think also like you should just assume that if I guess, okay, maybe like the first time you hang out, you're trying to get this to know. Like if we met somewhere, we didn't really, get to know each other that much. Well, let's hang out, see if like we vibe, and then maybe that's not the appropriate place. But then, would you agree with that? Like you meet somebody on the street, and you're like, hey, let's hang out,
On
and
the street.
on the street or like she for the
No, no,
streets.
no. Okay, okay.
No, but like
Oh,
you meet her in a yoga class,
okay,
okay,
perfect.
or in a smoothie bar, or in a dog sanctuary. I don't know.
Dog
A
sanctuary.
dog,
Okay, okay, keep
you
going.
get it, okay? You think she's from face value, she's attractive. You have you get to know her. She gives you her form of communication. Um, now, now what? Do you go, like, you're hanging out? Is this considered a first date, or is this you hanging out just to get to know each other, or is it,
Okay, so
or yeah, like what
no,
is the
I would say, okay, if you're hanging out with a girl and you're like, let's go to this yoga class together, whatever. I think that in my eyes, that's just hanging out. A date is
like when you clarify it's a date, right? In the beginning, you're like, let's go on a date,
okay, yeah, or if
or a date's what
wait,
then?
hang on. If a man is actively trying to pursue you, so if he says, I would like to take you out to dinner. Let me pick you up at this time. This is what women want. We want the initiative. Like, please make a move. And if she declines, rejection is redirection. But that just looks so good on your part, especially, I mean, in the beginning, of course, you should do this the whole relationship. But if you want to take a girl out on a date, definitely make the move and say, hey, I would like to pick you up at this time. I want to take you to dinner. Wear X, Y, and Z so that she can get the dress code. You don't even have to tell her where it is. I think that's the most exciting part. And then she feels like a princess. If
Hmm.
you are just hanging out at a yoga studio or whatever, I
That's
wouldn't
just a
really,
hangout. Yeah, you're not
yeah,
gonna.
like
I
you're
feel
getting
you.
to
I
know each
feel you.
other. I would not say I'm going on a date unless he is taking me somewhere and paying for me and
Hmm.
pursuing me. If we're just hanging out, we're just hanging out. You're basically my friend right now. You got to get to that next level to earn the we're going on a date sentence.
I feel you. I feel you. That's good. Good wisdom. Cool. So then, okay, on the date, then are they supposed to kiss on the first date?
I mean, that is so subjective.
Subjective.
Some
Okay.
woman would be like,
Would be like no.
absolutely not. And some woman would say, yes, I would love that. And I also think it depends on who you're with and how comfortable you are. Some people click instantly, some people it takes longer. So read the room. I don't know. If you're unsure, like I said, communicate or just if you are not comfortable with communicating that, maybe just wait until she is, or you can
Hmm.
really tell that the timing is right.
Hmm. Good vibes. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. See, boys, we're really getting the info here,
Cracking the
and we're
code.
cracking the codes. We're getting deep with it. Um, yeah, I guess that makes sense to me. But I think a lot of people, it's like that fear of rejection, and it's not even like I don't even know, but it's like you've just it's just the craziest thing. It's like that just fear, deep seated. I don't know where it comes from, but yeah, you
Lack of
just.
self love.
I think you gotta also assume that if you're. I think regardless, okay, if the chick doesn't wanna kiss you, like you gotta assume that she wants to, okay, and you just have to go for it. Not in like a weird way. You need to have the vibe, like you need to set it up so like it's an easy thing, but like not like an awkward fucking like weirdo thing, but like
Yeah.
in a romantic type way. But like yeah, you gotta assume that she wants to, and like what's the worst that's gonna happen? She's gonna like say no.
Right. And like I said, rejection is redirection. If she doesn't want to kiss you, if she doesn't want to go on another date, she's not for you. Don't,
That's the vibe too.
yeah,
That's the
don't
whole
waste
thing.
your time with
Like it
someone that
doesn't
doesn't want to
matter.
kiss you. Someone else will. And when you let go of her, it'll allow someone else to come in. You're creating that space for yourself for something that is meant for you. And nothing that is for you will pass you. And I'm a firm believer in that.
We creating space, dog.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
actually good vibes too. So like literally nothing is actually a failure. Like dude,
Exactly.
like you're just learning and
Hmm.
everything is redirecting you into where you're supposed to be. And like if you expand the time horizon, that rejection led to something that led to something that led to the best thing in your fucking life. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So if you can just stop resisting the moment and resisting failures and resisting you being in a lack mindset or anything like that, like if you can just accept at in every moment, like wow, I just fucked up, I suck. Accept that, it's cool.
And also,
It's not
this
that big of a
goes for
deal.
like things besides relationships, like jobs, for example, and friends. If things are not serving you, it's not a bad thing to let them go. It's actually really good because in any scenario, you are creating space for what is meant for you. So
Mm.
I know that we're talking about females right now, but if you let
No,
go of
yeah,
a
I agree.
job or sorry, the job lets you go, you get fired or you decide I don't want to do this anymore, we are meant to live this life to be happy. Like that should be your number one priority always. And when you're happy, you can make other people happy.
Mm.
But that is your purpose in this life is to come here and live this human experience and be happy. And if you are not happy with a relationship, a friend, a job, let it go
Mm.
and find something that's for you, or not even find something that's for you, but allow the thing that's for you to come to you because it will.
Yeah. Yeah, I just was reading something actually, and it said, um, once you realize that you are not creating abundance, you at your essence in the present moment is abundance at its core.
Yes, that's very true.
What you're creating is limitations. So the only thing that you're creating is limitations that are hindering you from what's already here, which is abundance. So like you have to create a mindset of everything is a lesson,
Mm-hmm.
everything is serving you. Continue to fail. And yeah, I know like but this applies to everything. This mindset of just moving forward with love, knowing you're worthy applies to
Yes,
everything.
absolutely.
Women, job, money, like everything. And you just need to create that in your true being. But also, I wanted to go off this too because I semi disagree with what you're saying, and I think you'll understand why I'm gonna say it. Um, I believe that the goal of life is to give us awareness. So I don't think it's for us to be happy because how can you know what happiness is if you don't know what sadness
Yeah,
is or
absolutely.
what pain is? But I think it's the goal of life is to be in the present moment and
Mm-hmm.
accept what is,
Yes.
because there is ultimately going to be sadness and there is going to be trials and tribulations, but it's moving through them with love, gaining awareness, and ultimately accepting the moment as it is, and and yes, and experiencing the emotion of happiness as much as you can, I guess,
Right.
kind of,
Yeah.
if that makes
I
sense.
totally agree with that.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's always going to be ebbs and flows. And like you said, in order to feel the happiness, you have to feel the sadness. And also, the uncomfort and the sadness and negativity is where you grow. That's how you get to the
Mm,
next level. Usually before you go up, you're down.
okay.
And not that it's necessarily like our sole purpose here is to be happy, obviously not. But I do think that's one of the beautiful things about living
Yes.
is obviously we get the ability to feel all of the emotions, but
Mm.
just making yourself happy should be a priority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a journey in itself and that's a journey of unsuppressing yourself from
Yes.
the chains of whether it's your past lineage, your society, your family, because I don't think most people know what happiness is. Because ultimately we have such a skewed perspective on what the true meaning of like happiness, presence is, and it's like
Yes.
the little shit is what really matters. Like none of this big shit that you think actually matters. Like the like sitting here having a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
drinking your coffee in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
eating the meal, breathing, being with your family.
Yes.
That is the shit that matters. That's what true happiness is. And ultimately, it's sad to say, but most people gain this awareness when they go through traumatic events
Mm-hmm.
that make them realize this, because you don't know what you have until it's gone. You don't know the meaning of being with your family until you don't have it anymore.
Right.
And that's why they say youth is wasted on the young, because when you're young, you have a lack of awareness and you don't really value the present moment, generally speaking, as much as an elder would. Like if you want to gain awareness, like go to an elderly home and talk to them and ask them what their biggest regrets are, because it's just like it's almost a selfish to think like this society is just at its core selfish, and I think we're continuously just not where or the society, but like I just think a big mindset that's hindering a lot of people is the selfishness of like entitlement of like, well, I need to be happy, I need to be a fucking millionaire, I need to. It's like you have everything that you need, and that's what I at a core belief that I will live by is you have everything already that you
Mm-hmm.
need. And once you accept your imperfections, accept this present moment, that's when you will make real progress. You are not going to become this person that you want to become if you are resisting the present moment. If you are in a state of lack, well, I suck, I'm too skinny, I don't have enough money, I don't have any, like, girls don't like me, you know what I mean? If you're in that state, you're in a state of lack in that moment. So you need to create a different state in your mind. And you need to accept that your imperfections are what make you perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want, like,
Absolutely.
you do not know, like, the vision or the people you look up to or like whatever, like you're just a portion of them, like you don't actually know like who they are. They could be like bad people, you know what I mean? And like you have everything you need, you are worthy, everything's good. And if we could just like get to that state, and I think social media,
Yes.
TikTok,
Yeah.
all this crap, like really is creating a skewed belief system in the youth of today. And that's why I think bringing consciousness to the youth is the most important thing that will ultimately um, bring society forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And what you were saying earlier, how not everything, like the things that we think will make us happy aren't the things that make us happy. And when I lived in South Florida, I really saw this because I worked in the hospitality industry and I still do, but I was working at a specific restaurant. I remember all of the wealthy people that would come in and they would just bicker at each other and they weren't very respectful to me, and you can tell that they had a lot of money but they weren't actually happy. They had a lot materially but they didn't have a lot going on in their heart. And also where I lived there was a lot of homeless people. And I remember one time I was at the gas station and this old man is sitting in front of the gas station. I could tell, he's homeless, whatever. And whenever I walked by, he just smiled at me really big and he was like, I hope that you have a beautiful day. And I will never forget that, because seeing someone who has literally nothing materially had so much love to give. And I think that's so, so important, is like you said, the little things, a cup of coffee, a roof over your head, food on the table, family,
Mm.
yourself. Just there are those things that is what love, and that's just like that's what love is all about. It's in having physical things when you leave. Like, it doesn't matter, when you're 90 years old, you're not going to think about the car that you had. You're not going to think about the newest iPhone that you got for your birthday. You're going to think about all of your friends and all your memories with them and your family, and the nicest thing that someone ever said to you and the meanest thing that someone ever said to you, and the love that you gave others. That's what you're going to think about. And so I think
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah, something I tell myself a lot too is the serious man is the fearful man. So the more serious you are, the more fearful you are. And the more fearful you are, the more you are continuously suppressing yourself. And the more you are
Yes.
suppressing yourself, the more you are hindering yourself from the reality that you want. So literally, like, smile more and laugh
Mm-hmm.
more and be lighthearted, because like you could die tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could die tomorrow. So like why am I overthinking about stupid shit? You know what I mean? And if you can just have that awareness of just like, wait a minute, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yes.
It just lifts something. It just like a weight off your shoulder, and you can just
Mm-hmm.
kind of enjoy the moment. And
I think
yeah,
that
guys.
also allows space for forgiveness, not only for yourself, but for others. When you think about situations and someone did you wrong, or, you messed up and you're mad at yourself or you're mad at that person, if you have that mindset of, this, I only get this life. Like, what if I were to die tomorrow? It's not that serious. And just releasing those negative emotions for yourself or for that person, it allows for more space of love and
Mm,
forgiveness.
yeah, I mean, if you are, have resentment toward somebody, and you haven't forgive them, they ultimately are in control of you,
Mhm.
because they have power over you, because they are keeping you in a negative state. So like,
Yes. Yeah.
do yourself the favor and forgive them. And yeah, that's a journey. That's a lifelong journey, and it's just like continuously bringing love into. And what am I say when I say love and like being love? It's like love. The ultimate level of love is unconditional love. It
Hmm.
means lack of control. It means accepting what is. Love has nothing to do with wanting. Love is accepting. Love is being. Love is like, has no need for anything. If I love somebody, I don't need to control them, and I don't need them to be different,
Right.
but I
Absolutely.
can accept them. It has nothing to do with wanting anything or wanting somebody to be a certain way. It's just being and
Hmm.
accepting. And if you can just bring that into your life, that's how you'll transform your relationships. That's how you'll transform your life. So it's like, you really want to create this desired reality, you have to shift your perspective in the current moment. And that's a journey, and that's forgiveness. You're going to keep making mistakes. You keep moving forward, you keep forgiving, you keep having compassion. And it's just a endless cycle of moving forward. But yeah, that's some powerful, powerful stuff right there. And yeah, I think we all need to continuously be lighthearted. I think we all need to give other people the opportunity to like have conversations and disagree in a loving way, and have friendly debates and gain new perspectives. That's what I'm trying to say here, is like, you don't need to
Yes.
be so rigid in your belief
Have an
system.
open mind.
That's exactly what I mean.
Hmm.
That's have an open mind to learn different things, because ultimately the things that I believe are from whatever I've cultivated in my own life, and that doesn't
Hmm.
mean it's 100% truth. So it's being able to flow and learn and just and keep moving forward. But and yeah, developing a value system that you live by, and you don't want to compromise that value system for people, and building a foundation of your life to be free and to know the truth and to live in your own truth and to live aligning with what you believe in, And yeah, I mean, it's not all that big of a deal. You just got to keep moving forward. And we all want these things. We want the girls, we want the money, we want the house, but like none of that's the answer. The only answer is here, now, and yourself. And
Mhm.
not to saying you don't deserve those things or you can't get those things, but you're actually going to attract those things when you're in a state of presence right now, because
Yes.
presence in the moment is abundant. You have this and you just go with the flow. And if you make a mistake and you mess up, it was a lesson to align you to that new thing and to align. So like you're literally on the path. So are you
Absolutely.
going to keep resisting the path or are you going to accept it? You literally have everything you fucking need. You just need to accept that you have that and keep moving forward with love
Yes.
and not resist it.
And when you have that gratitude in your heart, you are vibrating at a higher frequency. When you are thinking, I want this, you are in a lack mindset
Mm.
and a lower vibration. And that's when you're going to attract the female, the job, the friends that don't actually align with
Yep.
what is true to you and what you should be aligning with if you were to have that gratitude mindset.
Exactly. And yeah, this is scientific. Go read the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. That's a amazing book. But he talks about the scale of frequencies, and courage is the foundation of forward movement. So if you can just have the courage to have courage, then you're making progress, because then you can accept, then you can be at peace, then you can have joy. But if you're in a state of shame, fear, guilt, you're literally keeping yourself in that suppressed state. So like
Yes.
you have no idea, you were just, I'm shameful, I'm guilty, I'm fearful, I have no idea, I'm uncertain. But if you can just have the courage to even have courage, well then you can be at the foundation of acceptance. So just accept the uncertainty and realize that you're physically keeping yourself in that shameful and bad state by keeping yourself in that vibration. So how do you get above? Is starting with courage, having courage to accept, to let go, to be at peace. And that's what life is. That's what, and that's, Eckhart Tolle talks about this. The measure of a spiritual person is not how long they can meditate. It's how long they can be in a state of presence throughout their daily lives. So that's the answer, is being in a state of presence throughout your daily life. And yeah, guys, we're here. We're just trying to bring the vibes high, make a difference, and just be ourselves, and we align with people that we believe in. We align with things. So find what you believe in and stand for that and have confidence and like
Be authentic as possible.
be authentic as
Spread love.
possible.
Yeah.
Spread love. Like you're your hardest critic, and that's like a good thing and a bad thing, because yeah, you can get better and you can improve and you can become more valuable and you can provide more value and you can give more. But also being your own critic can be at a detriment to yourself,
Yeah.
because like, I've talked to people about like insecurities that I have, and they're like, "Oh, really? I wouldn't even have thought of that. Like,
Mhm.
that's your coolest attribute." And it's like, wait a minute, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's all just lies that you tell yourself in your head, you
Exactly.
know.
It's all
You
lies that you
write your
tell
own
yourself.
story. Just don't believe the negative shit that you tell yourself because it's not true. You're making it up. You know, when you say, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, people won't like me, people will love you. Just be authentic, stay true to yourself. And really, the only thing that's true is your emotion. So go with that. And yeah, just
Yeah,
continue to spread love and have, if all of your intentions are with love, nothing is ever going to go, no, I shouldn't say nothing is ever going to go the wrong way for you, but you will see that the things that are happening are more aligned with who you are.
exactly. And I think, there is truth and there is lies, and it's finding the truth. And is the truth subjective? I don't know. I think maybe there is a line that is debatable, but in ethics, of course, play a role in the decisions that we make. And you can just be an honorable human and like provide more value to the marketplace, like you can have a good life. And instead of blaming other people, and just like, you know just keep moving forward and providing value and being in the present moment. And yeah, guys, not a wicked long episode today, but to wrap up, do you have any other closing thoughts that you'd like to share to the audience?
Maybe just to let your inner child out a little bit. I feel like with women, we're a lot more likely to let our inner child come out. And what I mean by that is when you're born, you the only the only thing you know is love, right? Like we are taught fear, we are taught all these negative emotions, and I think that women are more susceptible to show that,
Mm,
cuz maybe men think, "Oh, it's too feminine, it's too
yeah,
immature, whatever." And I think that if you just remove those thoughts and be playful, don't be serious, act out of love, be silly, and just really let that inner child come out, I think that's when you
yeah,
truly, act how you are and act out of love.
yeah. I love that. That's definitely the truth, and that's what life is. Just kind of getting back to that true state of nothingness and just
Hmm.
being, because and that's what life is the that toddler, that infant, just being just like pure love, and
Yes.
that's what beauty is to me. And
And no
yeah,
care, no
guys,
judgment. You're not judging. You don't care what people think of you when you're 5 years old. You're just living your life and having fun
exactly,
and
that's the
loving. Like
best.
that's what
Like
it's all about.
that is
Let that little guy
seriously
come back.
that seriously is what life is about, and we've just become hardened, and that's okay, and you forgive yourself. Like you've become hardened through trauma, as we all have, and trauma is subjective. Like everybody's been through the ringer, and if you can just let go and have compassion and forgive,
Mhm.
and that's how you unsuppress yourself from trauma, and just like you are worthy. Like I'm telling you, like you are worthy, and you just need to learn to believe yourself, and you need to
Yes.
learn to trust in the present moment, or God, or the universe, or a cause, and just that is what life is to me. And that's what, yeah. And I don't even, the beginning of this whole thing, like we're talking about like how to attract women, but like ultimately it's, well, how do you be an honorable human? Like how do
Yeah.
you be an honorable male? How do
Yes.
you be an honorable female? And like if you are an honorable person, you are going to attract an honorable person. And
Absolutely.
ultimately, sure, like you can go hook up with people, and like that's a great lesson for you to move through and realize that it's unfulfilling. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's what you want. I'm not here to say anything, and I'm not here to say anything's good or bad. But ultimately, like if you are an honorable human and you care for yourself and you care for the people around you, you will align with what you're supposed to align. And you don't need to keep playing false realities or believing false belief systems, and you will manifest that life. Um,
Absolutely.
and what I mean by that is by being in the moment, you ultimately will create a reality that aligns with that moment that you're being in. So like if you're being love, honorable, giving, and providing, like you will attract a person that is supposed to be in that light or that level of your life, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We
Mhm.
just kind of went off the cuff, and I appreciate you, Kira, for your wisdom and knowledge. And I look forward to potentially another conversation in the
Yes.
future.
Sounds
And
wonderful.
yeah, guys, this was the Roman Empire, and yeah, just keep vibing.
Thank you for having me. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Peace, guys.
Bye. And
Peace.
cut. Imagine it wasn't recording the whole time.